What's up, my comic comrades? Today we talk about one of the most powerful entities in Marvel Comics, Oblivion. He's essentially the personification of the galactic void that once filled the multiverse before creation. It could be argued that he is the most powerful character in all of Marvel Comics, as part of creation itself came from him, and eventually will return to him at the end of time, but we'll get into that in a bit. We also want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring today's episode. The new year is a great time to work on yourself. For instance, two of my personal goals for this year are to be more present and focus on being more positive when challenging situations go down. But if you aren't sure how to hit your goals, BetterHelp has your back. They can link you up with a professional who can help you with stress and anger management, goal setting, or another challenge you may be working through. And BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier and much less intimidating by letting you choose to have your sessions as a phone call, a video chat, or even messaging. Whatever's the most comfortable version of therapy for you. So join the over 4 million people who've used BetterHelp to start living a healthier, happier life. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/variant. Then after a few short questions, BetterHelp will match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network based on your needs, preferences, and location. And if you feel like your therapist isn't a great fit, you can switch therapists with a click of a button at no additional cost. So again, get your new year started on the right foot and visit betterhelp.com/variant. The Variant fam will also score 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so just click the link below. Okay, first and foremost, Oblivion is a character we don't see pop up all that often in Marvel Comics, but he recently emerged in issue 3 of Marvel Comics' God series by Jonathan Hickman. And we assume that will be explained further in issue 4, which drops this week. But let's go over what we know about Oblivion's latest appearance so far. God's issue 3 really kicks off when Wynn tells Doctor Strange we believe all the lesser gods are moving, which implies the greater gods are preparing to as well. Now this part is very important because Wynn references the lesser gods and greater gods, but what exactly is a lesser god and a greater god? Well, lesser gods would be the likes of Thor, Loki, Hercules, and Mephisto, for the most part at least. They're planetary level beings or gods. Greater gods would be the likes of the Living Tribunal, the One Above All, Eternity, Infinity, and so on and so forth. And this is important to establish what comes next. We are then taken back to the Library of Worlds where Dimitri is having a drink. If you don't remember, Dimitri Krakow is part of the natural order of things, which governs everything scientific, and he works with Wynn, who works with the powers that be, who governs everything magical and weird. Anyway, Dimitri then sees Oblivion walk into the Library of Worlds cursing, saying, "How long has it been since the Universal Abstract was inside this place?" His device answers, "A Universal Abstract has never been in this place." Mia, who's with him, asks, "Why are you freaking out?" He says, "An abstract is one of the 8 divisors found along the universal axis of power. They are beings of immense power, creator gods, in every sense of the word, and that is Oblivion. Something very bad is getting ready to happen here." Dimitri then starts to talk to Oblivion, saying, "Haven't seen you here before." Oblivion then reveals himself in Dimitri's mind, saying, "Because I have never been here before." But you already knew that, didn't you, Dimitri Krakow, son of Valerie and Ivana? Always looking to the stars, hoping for a miraculous re-entry, and knowing a return of any kind is unlikely. But you must keep looking, you must. When hope is all you have, you dare not to lose it. Dimitri then replies, "I guess being coy wasn't the move to make, was it?" Oblivion tells him, "Any acceptable position that one takes regarding the gods varies widely, depending on whether you believe in them or not." Dimitri responds, "Well, it's tough to be in this line of work and not believe." And let me tell you something, Oblivion's response here is where it really starts to get interesting. He says, "What timing? A growing rarity now. But almost all of humanity was once counted among the faithful. It was what gave you the moral and intellectual anchor necessary to separate yourselves from all the other animals. And you did. Well done. Of course, you didn't deserve too much credit. It was the simple act of a simple people. After all, we gods did the hard work of creation. All you had to do was not deny it." So clearly, Oblivion is upset about something, and that is what humanity and lesser gods have done. But he elaborates more, so let's continue. He goes on to say, "But then that day came, and too many of you decided to stop believing. Mankind abandoned the gods, told yourselves we were a lie, and that you could replace us with things of your own creation, such as the action of any child, to mimic and then replace their parents. So you people decided to play God. But there was just one problem, one forgotten in all that arrogance, an unearned arrogance. While you were made by God, you were not God yourselves. What you were wasn't even close. For man is too flawed, carved from stone, unyielding, evolutionary static, and built to believe. You are hardwired to follow, a captive of idolatry, created to worship. And you replaced us with your own creations that you could lift on high and bow down to. Politics and ideology and persona. But these were not the divinely inspired glorified creations of gods. They were the flawed work of pretenders, collapsing at creation. Built to fail, and fail they did. Now you have lost faith in them as well, and you have nothing left. Dimitri finally responds saying, "I'm not sure I buy it completely, and it is a sad story, no doubt, but I would think a thing like that would trouble a god." "You do not seem troubled," Oblivion simply replies, "because I am not like the other gods. I do not desire praise and worship. I have no need for disciples." So clearly Oblivion has showed his face once again because he is not happy with how things have gone with humanity and them playing gods, making their own creations and things to worship. Dude even said, while you were made by gods, you were not gods yourselves. What you were wasn't even close. Oblivion continues telling Dimitri, "It's true, my numbers grow. For a while, I cared nothing for the praise and worship of man, but there are those who seek me out and find my altar. They receive no special disposition, no special favor from my hand. To them I give the same gift I give to everyone, and it's the greatest gift any human can receive, the permission to do anything you want. Because nothing matters at all. Look closely, child, see my face and see the inevitable ash of annihilation. For I am the end, I am Oblivion, and my time is now." So clearly Marvel is setting up Oblivion to be the big bad for the God series, which makes all the sense in the world. It's actually super crazy they're bringing him back, as he's used so sparingly throughout Marvel Comics. So much so that a lot of fans argue whether or not he's even canon, with the argument being that there are several other cosmic gods in the Marvel Universe that kind of contest several aspects of Oblivion, such as Null, Mistress Death, and even the One Above All. But his appearance in Gods now 100% confirms he is in the main 616 Marvel continuity and canon. And it's going to be really fun to follow where Hickman is taking Oblivion in the series. But now that we know we're talking about this character because of his reemergence and how important he's probably going to be for the Marvel Universe from here on out, let's talk about where he got started and his origin for a little bit. Even though he really doesn't have an origin, as he's the personification of nothing, and nothing has and always will exist because, well, it's nothing. Oblivion first appeared in 1984's Iceman title in issue 1 of that series. With that said, Oblivion is a cosmic abstract entity in Marvel Comics, symbolizing the emptiness or void within the universe. Alongside infinity, death, and eternity, Oblivion came into existence through the actions of the first firmament after the creation of the Omniverse. These 4 cosmic entities considered each other to be siblings. Much like the rivalry between death and eternity, Oblivion stands in opposition to infinity within the cosmic dynamics of the universe. Due to their origins and nature, Oblivion and death have a connection comparable to the relationship between infinity and eternity. These 4 cosmic entities symbolize the perpetual battle between life and death within the universe. Oblivion's domain is referred to as the Outer Void, a realm completely lacking in matter or energy. He is the eldest and most powerful among its 3 sibling counterparts, being a 4th cosmos entity. As for appearance, he basically looks like a cosmic serpent, but Oblivion manifests through key avatars like the Chaos King and Null, god of the symbiotes, both stemming from the primordial void preceding the universe's inception. The Chaos King eventually integrated into the Amatsu Kami, while Null took a different path, crafting symbiote creatures from the living darkness, at which point Null waged a war against the universe with the aim of reverting it back to the void, as we saw in King in Black. Now, like I said earlier, there's not a whole lot more to say about Oblivion, as he hasn't appeared all that much in comics, but he did create his own kingdom, servants, and daughter known as Mirage. He literally created her out of himself so he wouldn't be so lonely, because when you're the personification of the void, you're the definition of loneliness, and even the void doesn't want to be so void. In any case, let's get into how powerful Oblivion is. He's a cosmic abstract and one of the greater gods, being one of the most powerful in all of Marvel. For instance, one of his avatars, Amatsu Mikoboshi, the Japanese god of chaos and evil, which is an aspect of Oblivion, almost destroyed the entire multiverse. And again, he's the most powerful of 4 siblings: himself, death, eternity, and infinity. Again, he's more powerful than death, eternity, and infinity, which says a whole lot. But the main reason why he's so powerful is because Oblivion rules the void, which is beyond existence. Even the Living Tribunal has no power over Oblivion. The Living Tribunal once said, "How can one command nothing?" Here's an interesting tidbit. Oblivion also rules over those who have yet to exist. So all the unborn souls, he rules them because he rules nothing, and if you haven't been born yet, you are nothing. It's kind of a mind F, but when you think about it, he's probably the most powerful character in Marvel. Even more powerful than the one below all and the one above all. And you can't kill Oblivion. You cannot reduce the personification of the void, or more specifically, nothing, to nothing. So at the end of everything, there will only be Oblivion, theoretically meaning he's the most powerful character in Marvel, or at least that's one way to look at it. But there you have it, friends, a brief rundown of his latest appearance, who he is, and how powerful he is. Let us know what you think of Oblivion, and if you're happy to see him re-emerge in the Gods title. I know we are. But other than that, we'll see you next time when I talk about all things comics.